We're going to tell you briefly that this creative process is 3 steps. The first step is ask, and you can't stop doing that. The contrast causes you to ask all day, every day. So you're asking, recovering for your sound, asking. And in that asking, you are doing step 1 again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Law of attraction and your inner being, that which man wants to call God, that which is source energy, is there with what you've asked for, experiencing that highest frequency that you have discovered, the frequency of love and appreciation, the frequency of expansion. So here is this vortex version of you. So step 1, step 2 happened without you even really knowing that it happened. It was just a consequence of being focused out here on the leading edge of creation. But step 3 is really the step that we want you to focus upon all day, every day. That's the allowing part. That's the you becoming vibrationally resonant with what you've put into your vortex. And that's the part that's a little tricky for you, because it's not easy for you to be standing where you're standing in the absence of something that you want and be a vibrational match to the presence of it. And the reason for that is because you've become so enamored with physicality that you sort of want to see it and then believe it. And we want you to believe it so that you can see it. We want you to understand that when you are able to feel yourself by caring about how you feel to the resonance of what you've put into the vortex, that when you practice that for a little while until you know it, until you own it, until you are it, that then this wonderful thing happens. What's in your vortex begins to reveal itself to you. You begin to realize it. Thoughts begin to occur to you. Impulses begin to occur to you. Your timing is good. You rendezvous with people, places, things, events. All kinds of things start happening. There's a synchronicity, a cooperation. Now, the cooperation has already been there, but in your caring about how you feel and reaching for the highest resonance of who you are, you become a cooperative component too. And when that happens, the manifestation becomes obvious for you and everyone around you to see. Until then, you got to be happy with feeling it before you see it. And we know that's a big step, because there are a lot of things that you can look at that make you feel really good. And there are a lot of things that you can look at that cause you to not feel so good. So we're asking 2 things of you. We're asking you to be more selective in what you look at, but we're going to be light about that, because we know about momentum. And we know when you got a momentum going that doesn't feel that good, and some freaky non-physical ghost says to you, you create your own reality, you know. And you should ought to kind of try to find a thought that feels better. You just want to punch our lights out, because there's a momentum that often, not often, always holds you where you are. Our favorite story to help you let yourselves off the hook relative to this subject is, sometimes what you say to us sounds just like this. Abraham, I've fallen out of an airplane and I don't have a parachute. Do you have any suggestions for me? And we say, just one. Hang on, it'll be over in a little bit. Because it's hard to reverse that kind of momentum. And so sometimes there's a momentum going. Something happened, you focused on it, you talked to somebody else about it, you got that momentum going, you crossed the 68-second mark about 1,000 times in the last 1,000 minutes or so. In other words, you've got the momentum going, and then you say, oh wait, I'm supposed to think positive thoughts so that I can feel more positive. And then you say, just kill me now, because really, there's not much you can do about it. And so what we're wanting to help you to realize is that you have much better control over your momentum in the early stages of it than you do in the later stages of it. Once law of attraction gets hold of it, you sort of have to crash and burn a little before you can come up for air. And the best way to sort of cleanse that palate is a good night's sleep, or even some sleep. Because when you slumber, your point of attraction stops. You're not actively attracting to you while you are asleep. It's the most wonderful thing that you pre-paved when you decided to come here. I'll give myself an opportunity to stop the momentum of unwanted thoughts. So that means when you put yourself in your bed at night, you can say, oh good, the momentum will stop in a little bit here. And in the morning, I'm going to get it going just the way I want it to. So we've been describing to you, and you've been following along so well, that we have some analogies here for you today that are going to make it very easy for you to figure out what to do as you're moving through your day, different aspects of your day, under different vibrational conditions. We want you to realize that while you have created this vortex version of you, this vibrational version of you, that it is a reality that until it manifests, you're not that excited about calling it a reality, but we are, and you don't need to worry about it. It exists even in your ignorance of it. So if we can convince you that it exists, if you can just sort of take that on conceptual faith, you haven't proven it to yourself yet, but you understand the laws of the universe. The laws have shown themselves to you in enough ways that this is logical to you. If we can convince you that there is this vibrational version, then the only thing that you are wanting to be aware of is what is your right now, because of what you're thinking and speaking, because of what you're saying, whether you're remembering it from the past or focusing on it in the present or anticipating into the future, whatever you're doing with your mind right now is causing you to choose some relationship with some vibrational versions that you've set into motion. So we began describing to you that while this vortex is there, and we said to you, get in the vortex, become a vibrational match with your vortex. Now we are saying to you the same thing in a little bit different way. Understand what your point of attraction is, which is the same thing as saying, understand what the vibrational frequency is that you're offering, which is the same thing as pay attention to how you feel right now. Because your emotions are letting you know the vibrational relationship that you have with this furthermost expanded version of you. So we want you to get the mental picture that there is a vibrational version that you've set into motion, and that as you stand in your now, depending upon what you're speaking about or feeling about or thinking about, you are establishing a relationship with this vortex version. But we also want you to know that when you're in a bad mood, you're launching a vortex version too. When you are in fear, you're launching a vortex version. When you're in joy, you're launching a vortex version. Now, the only vortex version that is being tended by us is that high frequency, that high flying, pure positive energy vortex version. That's where we reside, in a place of non-resistance. So when you launch one of those rockets and we recognize it as that new expansion of you, we achieve the vibrational frequency with it, and we maintain. And it's important for you to know this. We maintain. We're talking about source energy. We're talking about your inner being. We're talking about all who love you. Maintain that high frequency that you have achieved through the life that you have carved out. And it's like shining that frequency so that you will know it when you feel it. And equally important, you will know it when you're not feeling it. In other words, you will know by the way you feel your vibrational relationship with that vortex version of you. We know that we've said a lot of the same things today, but we want to leave you with just a handful of things that would be easy for you to apply if you want to. And so we're just going to ramble here for a moment as we help you to remember as fully as possible right here and now who you are, and to explain to you what we would do if we were standing in your physical shoes. I'm going to speak from your vantage point, from that which we know that you now know. This is what you now know. I am the creator of my own reality. I am a vibrational extension of a larger vibration. The frequencies of my being are constantly intertwined. The frequency of that inner being part of me resides in the fullest of non-physical energies. And the physical, visceral translation of that is love and joy and appreciation. And I know it when I feel it. I stand in my physical body in some relationship to that all day, every day. And on some subjects, I get there easily, and on some subjects, I don't. But I now know what my quest is. My intention is to find the frequency of who I really am and practice it until it comes so easily that then I can move about this world as I have intended to, with all of the existence of all of those other discs, no longer in fear that I might end up on one of them, but in eagerness that I might end up on one of them. Because every time I do, I launch another rocket of desire, and the universe expands, and I do too. So I'm no longer holding myself to the standard of only pure positive energy. I embrace all of it, and I accept the step 1, step 2, step 3-ness of all of it. I'm hanging around more and more up there, and I'm feeling so good because now I'm on this faster path of getting to see the realization, the manifestation, the actualization, the materialization of things that I've been wanting. And oh, it is so sweet to see those things come into being. I love seeing it for myself, and I love seeing it for those who I love. But I'm no longer going to hold myself to standards that feel unreachable. I'm going to practice what has felt unreachable until I own it and make it then always feel not just possible, but certain. I know that I am the creator of my own reality. I know that I live in a vibrational universe. I know that everyone else does too. I know that we are all well-meaning, that we've all come with great purpose. I know that the source within me knows everything that I meant when I decided to come. I also know that the source within me knows what I've added to that, and I can feel the expansion of my beingness more at some times than others. It is my dominant intent today that no matter where I go or who I'm with or what I'm doing, it is my dominant intent to reach for that high-flying disc, just to practice it for another 17 seconds. Because in the process of doing that, I will establish a pattern of vibration that makes it easier and easier and easier and easier for me to do that. So I have more of those good feelings more of the time. But the most significant reason for my reaching for that resonance is because I am now understanding that I am now and have always been an extension of source energy. And it is my powerful intention to provide an avenue, a vortex, an open door for that which is source to flow through me, to me, and through me into this world. Because when I hold someone as my object of attention and I'm tuned in like that, they benefit. When I look at a global experience or initiative from that vantage point, I add value to that. When I love from my alignment with love, my love is of enormous value, not just to the object of my love, but to me as I love it, you see. I like the oneness with this pure positive energy. But I'm not going to hold myself to an impossible standard of always being there, because I now understand more than ever before that if I did not allow myself the diversity of sometimes slipping from that alignment, I would not know that alignment when I have recovered it. If I don't know what I don't want, I don't know what I do want. And I'm a focuser of the energy. I never intended to just get there and stay there. That's what Source is doing as they do the step 2 part of the process. I love being in my human body. I love all the physicalness of it. I love the vibrational nature of it. I love the power of my mind, and I love my ability to focus. But most of all, I love knowing what I now know about my ability to focus in conjunction with my awareness of the way I feel. Because that's the way I mold the clay of this time-space reality. That's the way I be who I was born to be. And that's the way I uplift others to help them to remember who they are. We've enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey. This has been a vibrational gathering more than it has been anything else. We are pleased with the resonance that you've discovered in the hours that we've been together. And we are more excited than you are able to even understand about what's coming next for you.